I'm back. It's one of the many coming to you from these here radio frequencies. And you know what's going on? Well, I'll tell you. You ain't even gotta ask. And if you don't want to know, you ain't gotta be here. That's your decision. But we're here right now. Communicating through the multiverse. You know, so I just recently got a backpack. And that's because I wanted to get a weight vest. And I got a weight vest. But now I'm looking to overload. Progressively overload. So I've got a tactical backpack. Got a tactical molly pack on me right now. Velcro badge included. Monochrome American flag. All terms and conditions applied. Terms and conditions vary. Something like that. Anyways, so I'm going from an 8-pound weight vest, which is balanced more or less between your front and backside, to I just threw a 25-pound plate in the back. And this thing is... Oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna be walking away. I'm gonna be walking away and you're gonna see a kite on my back. Just the shape of my trapezius is gonna be insane. I've been walking for 5 minutes and I feel a nice simmer going on back there. And so this is gonna build my back like crazy. Not to mention my calves and my legs and all my sorts of stabilizers and my core and all that. So this is cool. You know, I originally got this tactical backpack because I wanted to throw some weights in it and just be able to do different sorts of calisthenics exercises and be able to progressively overload without having to do like 8,000 reps. And do something a little more intensive. Short burst, high-powered kind of thing. And that's because my build is a little wonky. You see, I've got great genetics, and you know, thanks to all my ancestors and whatnot.
You know, we're respected.
Hello. But I've got a little bit of that long leg, short torso thing going on. And that doesn't do me any favors when it comes to squat mechanics. I don't have the best squat mechanics. So I've had to find ways around that on my training journey. So that's been fun. You know, I figured out some ways originally to get around that by putting on a backpack, throwing some weights in it, and then doing some dumbbell squats. Just holding them at your sides and squatting with that. But even then, you know, I wasn't able to go flat-footed I would have to do the Hindu squat version or the sissy squat version, where you kind of go up on your toes and, eventually kind of busted my knee pretty bad for quite some time. And I wasn't able to squat at all without having this sort of jolt, shock of pain just hit me right on the side of the knee, like, ouchie, ouchie. And so I dialed it back for a while, just kept it to leg extensions pretty much. And even then, that hurt for a little bit. Next thing I know, months go by, hardly really hitting legs at all. Not optimally, anyway. And so recently, within the last month or two, I would go over to the park, and they have this sort of dip station there where it's 2 bars kind of bolted into the ground with all these sorts of funky handles that you can, kind of get different angles at. And it's like a multi-tool. And I've been using this like a machine, like a fixed machine, to keep a certain kind of path, we'll say, kind of using my upper body to generate a more stable path for my legs to really drive into. And that has been exceptional. I've been kind of doing a hack squat kind of thing, more or less, and it has been so amazing. I kind of grinded away at all the little clunkiness that was in my knee, and that was enough stimulation for some excess blood and whatever to head over there and just, hey, what's going on here? Everyone all right? Oh, it's kind of messy in here. Huh. All right. Call the crew. We're gonna fix this place up. And so that's the story. I worked through an injury. It eventually healed itself much longer than I originally thought it might. And that gave me insights into aging itself. You just get hit with your first wrinkle or something like that, and you're like, oh, okay, this is real. Oh, wow, I'm becoming the old person that talks about what it was like in the good old days, back when I could do this and just have all the energy and recover in the world. But it took like 4, 5, 6 months to heal from that knee injury that I thought would just be like a 3-day event. And lo and behold, the world had other plans for me. So that's neither here nor there. Well, actually, it's there, because I'm here. So anywho, my squat mechanics aren't great, so I don't feel very confident in doing a high barbell squat or a low barbell squat. Kind of having the load resting on me in that kind of way. I really need to use my upper body to keep myself in a fixed path, in a fixed position. I found that so far this has been my best method, my best approach to it. And so that's my favorite part, I guess, about the fitness journey. Like, I've been doing this for so many years now. And however gradual it is, I'm still learning things. I'm still learning the best approach. And, for me, it's not necessarily even about, science-based lifting or even bro science lifting. But a seriously unique and utterly and entirely personalized science lifting. This is lifting that is one of one. So this is kind of how it goes. I would do pull-ups, endless amount of pull-ups, push-ups, and all this, and then all of a sudden, something clicks for you at one way or another. You do pull-ups for years, and then all of a sudden something clicks for you, and you get a different kind of perspective on mind-muscle connection. And now you're not targeting your biceps as much, you're not targeting your brachialis as much, and instead you're really hitting those back muscles instead. Same goes for bench press. Same goes for every exercise I've ever done. I mean, you do it at first, and you're like, you may or may not feel it. You may or may not really hit it on the sweet spot of the barrel. But you do it more and more, and you just get more adept at it. I fucking love bodybuilding, bro. I love it so much. It's so awesome. It's such a great feeling. The pump, obviously. The results, of course. And then just the activity itself. Just, the kind of frame of mind you get in right before you do it. The whole kind of whirlwind of energy, it's such a beautiful thing. I'm so glad I got into bodybuilding, and I'm stuck with it this far. I'm so grateful to it, and I'm grateful for it. And it's nothing more than that. Like, just a serious appreciation for it. Like, it's the same, the bodybuilding is the same for me as journaling, which is the same for me as drawing or making an art piece or painting. It's like, I'm trying to say that it's expressive, it's creative, it's a whole mental attitude and world that you get to bring in and blend to the activity that I just love it. I fucking love it. When I first started journal, I've had atrocious handwriting in school. And then I journal, and it's really awesome just to be able to look at my own handwriting nowadays. Like, wow, I've done this so much that there's actual palpable difference. You can see time put in. You can see how the time you put into things has a direct effect on whatever it is you do. And so bodybuilding is yet another avenue to see, that kind of blooming a flower appear in my life. And simply just saying that salute, soldier. Shout out to you. That's a banger. I love that. I'm going to add that to my favorites playlist. You see, I really like the subtle aspects of it. I'll dive into specifics here. When I first started bench pressing, it was just, lay flat on the bench. I guess, you put your feet on the ground. You kind of hear like that. And then, I guess you lift it and, you put it kind of here on your chest, I guess. And then you push it up. And then you do it more and more. And you realize, when I sort of imagine myself like a spring, like I want to keep some tension in my legs, like I want to create something real, I want to create a really stable base with my lower body, and then kind of create this shape where my chest is doing most of the work instead of, my whole upper body unit. You just figure, and it's cool. It's cool to be able to actually figure these things out and to actually be like, I think I understand body mechanics a little bit more. How nice. How nice. And it is. It totally is. And I'll tell you what. It's tranquil. It's zen. And not only that, it's like everything under the sun. Like, I could be listening to some crazy metal music, or I could just be listening to, like, the most berserker, like, adrenaline-inducing kind of whatever. Who's gonna carry the boat? Rocky theme music. I'm talking like the stuff that'll make you want to lift the car. Like, someone's like, you want to retire your parents? And you're just fine. And you're like, I want to go. I can do it. I can do it. I'm gonna do it. I just think that's a great feeling. That's just a great feeling. All right? That's a great feeling. A part of it is kind of silly, right? Like, mentally you're taking yourself out of reality and you're putting yourself in a hypothetical situation where a loved one is in danger or needs help, needs saving, and you put yourself in the position where you're like, I'm the only guy that could do this on planet Earth. So of course I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it with the speed of Flash and the strength of someone who's worthy, like Thor. I saved nothing for the swim back. It's silly, but it's also really fucking cool. Really fucking cool. Underrated, overrated? Dude, it is rated perfectly. Perfectly. yeah, so to get back into why I got this tactical Molly pack, tactical Molly gear pack. Oh, you're talking about my Sony HD. Oh, you're talking about my Sony HD Google Pixel LED 360p lenses, bro. Yeah, oh yeah. Custom made. Yeah, these things, the reason I got this tactical Molly pack specifically is, well, I can do it for pull-ups. More weighted pull-ups. I can use it for squats now, which this was like the ultimate reason as to why I got this, why I wanted this. To add extra weight to my squats. And I needed something that would be durable, something robust, something feasible, wouldn't rip on me, and hot diggity dog, god damn it, I'm liking it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. So far. So this one is extremely, this one has the aspects that I originally wanted. You see, I used a backpack before, and it had the one strap that kind of goes over your nipples, and when I would do pull-ups, it would kind of come off of my butt and just kind of free fall, swang in air. And so this one's got all sorts of straps and adjusters on it. And so I've got two straps coming across my body. I got one by the belly button, one by the hips, one by the nips. And so this thing is more or less attached to me. Of course, it's adjustable, so it's good. So for like the 8,000th time now, I got this thing to overload my squats. So we're gonna see how that thing goes tonight. Or tomorrow, I don't know. In the chamber, I've got chest day, back day, leg day. And if you're anything like me, you have unconventional workouts. You see, I work. Here's two things actually about me that I've come to realize. The first of which is, if I didn't write it down, have a recording of it somewhere, a picture, a video, something, I wouldn't really have a great grasp on my exercise routine specifically. Whoa. That little bell, dude. That little bell sounded like that was coming from right behind my head. I turn around. They're like 25 feet away. Now, it's so inconspicuous and sweet a noise, I still got mildly startled. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, bro. Right, so I got chest day, which means I'm hitting the flat bench press. Might be doing a few sorts of fly movements, chest fly movements. And then this one workout that I really enjoy right now is where you take one dumbbell, just one really heavy dumbbell, and then you just, it's like doing like almost like a mini bench press. Mini bench press. Mini barbell bench press. I like to put it up on an incline, maybe like a 30-degree incline, something like that. And then just kind of play around with it. You know, get a few reps in there that really go after my triceps. Get a few reps in there that really target my chest. And then set it down, keep grinding, keep going. Flat barbell bench press. I'm sitting on a 255 personal best at this point. Which I'm pretty happy about that. I've got a nice strength to weight ratio going on. I'm about 140 pounds. And I think a 255 bench press is pretty nice. Then I've got the back day coming up. Gonna do some bent over rows. Just hit traps the other day. Top of the traps and the back part of the traps. Did some scapula stuff as well. Just threw that in the mix. And then we got leg day, which I'm probably just gonna do some of those squats with the tactical backpack on. Tactical backpack. You know, but all of that is just to say that, you know, at this point, it's nice. It's nice because I'm excited. I'm excited for all my upcoming workouts. I can't wait to get in there, get into that kind of headspace. It's like this for me is like the equivalent of just of a ladies' night. You know, a lady, you know, she puts on her white bathrobe. You know, she starts lighting some candles, dims down the lights. You know, eucalyptus is in the air. You know, she just put in cookies into the oven. You know, she's got her show on Netflix. She's got no relationship problems, no work the next day. She's just in her zone. That's me, all right? This is the equivalent of that for me. I get to choose my soundscape, right? Sometimes I'll lift to like the Minecraft album by C418. You know, I might lift to that one day. You know, I might listen to like the soundtrack to Whiplash, just fucking jazz swing drums. one day, I might listen to some crazy, like, animalistic, primal, like, metal screamo music one day. Just what happened? Whatever I'm going for. Am I trying to be more explosive? Am I trying to be like, get off me? Or am I trying to be like, yeah, wait, I control you. I control you on the way up. I control you on the way down. In a lovingly way. The hell? I get to take a pre-workout or something like that. Have a nice drink. Enjoy a nice beverage. Just feel that sort of awakeness, that sort of, oh yeah, I'm here. That sort of, let's do this. I just feel so awesome about it. And that's like my favorite part. That's definitely the vibe about the whole experience. That's more important than leg day, chest day, or back day. Just, the feelings that I have about these upcoming times, I suppose. So this is pretty long-winded. This is pretty long-winded for something temporal, but hey. Even the god of spring knows not where the flowers come from. I originally wanted to talk about philosophy. Approach to life itself. My life. Specifically. Certain states and frames of mind and moods I'll be in, and then my own sort of pathway and trajectory in a kind of onwards and upwards way, right? Like, how do I get out? Oh, I'm feeling a bad state. I'm feeling like I'm in a negative spiral of life that is kind of cloudy, and I don't really have it pinned down or nailed down to a certain kind of word or articulation, but I'm not loving it, we'll say. And when I'll find myself there, what do I do to get out of that? What do I do to get through that, to get into something that feels more or less the way I would want my life to feel, if I can choose, if I had the option to choose. So yeah, I woke up this morning after kind of debating whether or not I'd put in a tardy and cover my time and just arrive late to work so I can get some extra sleep. And I thought to myself, I was looking at pictures of faces of people, and they were just still images, but I was doing this sort of mindfulness and meditative practice, spiritually calling to these people, letting their expressions sort of talk in a nonverbal way to me. Just looking at these still images of these people's faces, and what is my mind saying as I look at these faces, more or less. And because I know these people's voices, and I've seen their faces, I can put their voices to faces, and I've heard different things that they talk about in the ways that they talk about them, and blah, 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 and my mind has created an AI of them, we'll say. And so, before I went to bed, I was debating, should I go to work, or should I, come late or whatnot, and the general consensus from my little practice there was, hey, how about we get to bed, show up and put our best foot forward tomorrow. We can do it. You could do it. It ain't gonna be easy, but hey, I think that if you continue, in spite of the sort of grueling, persevere in spite of the gruelage that is to come, I think that you'll feel better than if you chose to not take these things on. So, as bad as it might be, what's the alternative? I don't think you're going to feel any better if you put these things off. I don't think you're going to feel any better if you avoid it entirely. It may be bad, but I don't think that in avoiding whatever it is that you're going to come head-on collision with, you're going to feel better about avoiding. You're going to just hit the rumination phase. You're going to hit the what-if phase. You're going to think of, oh, man. You're just taking a different sort of route of misery. And not one that you get to really pat yourself on the back and be like, you know what? It sucked, but hey, you fucking did it, man. You don't get to necessarily throw some roses on the stage at the end of that one. And so I woke up this morning tired as hell. I recognized in that moment, hey, I'm awareness. I am the thing that is aware of the sensations in the body. I'm not simply the sensations in the body. I'm tired. Not because I'm tired because my body is tired, and that's merely just a symptom of my body that I am feeling and sensing in some regard. Right, so I was powering through this sort of hibernation mode that I was going through, trying to pick myself up by my bootstraps and somehow do some hooking to juice myself up again. The hut, send some blood up to my brain just to keep me conscious through a blackout. And that's kind of what I had to do. I recognized that I had to clear the cache at some point. I had my own sorts of way of life to deal with and balance with the sort of expectations and standards and overflowing stresses of others, and how they'll sort of put that on you or want to put that on you, and depending on your makeup, that'll fall on you and you'll take it, or it'll hit you. It'll hit you in the same way that you'll try and catch a greased up pig or a flippity floppity slippery fish. And so this morning I was physically slow, and that stressed me out because I thought, oh man, I'm not working as fast as they want me to work, and I might not get as much done. And then when they come in here to see what I've done, they're gonna be like, hey, you slow motherfucker, why don't you are you slacking, you being lazy? No, of course not. I was just meditating on your excellency. Quiet, you boy. And so I had to clear the cache at some point. I had to dive in and dissect, take a cross section of my life in that moment in time, and what is it made of? Oh, it's made of worry. What do I want? Peace of mind, tranquility. A sense of coolness, calmness, and ease. What can you do about that? Is there anything that you can do right now to change that? Yes or no? Yes, there's something you can do? Great. Just start doing that. No? Oh, there's nothing you can do? Great. Well, then don't worry about it. And after I did this little quick assessment, I was back in the game. I was back in the game. And I was able to continue killing it. That's all. And so I'd say a big, significant, amazing portion of my day today was not that I was just simply, exposing life to just a beaming light of me. Like I once might have. Like I might once do again. A big part of what made today pretty awesome was that it just seemed to fit like a glove. Right? I didn't put on any faces to make myself more desirable to people. Instead, I wore the face that it simply felt like to be me in the moment. And that even if something was weird, even if something was weird, it was so okay. And so that's merely it. That's all I wanted to tell you. That I had some problems today. Whether or not I truly came up with a solution, I'm not going to get into that. But life was freaking good today, for sure. And so, I'm about to let you go here. You know, I thought I'd let you know what I'm dealing with in the present. Just because this is for me. I have a full bladder. I've got blood sugar on the rise. I've got about a 25-pound plate in the tactical backpack right now, and this shit it's working tactically on my trapezius. So I'm gonna have a belligerent back like you wouldn't believe. I'm literally gonna have a rhomboid. I'm gonna have a diamond in the middle of my back. And the upper section of my back, lower section of my neck is gonna be ridiculous now. And so this was a beautiful learning experience, going from a more balanced 8-pounded weight vest to a 25-pound completely rear attached sort of weight. You know, the distribution of weight makes a huge difference on the sort of working muscles involved. And yeah, you know, I think I'm just gonna take this, probably listen to another talk, maybe some more music or something like that, and then get home, hit up a delicious stir fry, and enjoy my time. So, thanks for being here. That's all from me. I'll catch you later.